All right, jumping in, we are now on booking sales calls and actually talking to potential clients. This is where things start to get exciting. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so step one, building a high converting Upwork profile. So the goal here is literally to create an Upwork profile that builds trust instantly. Now, your Upwork profile is your storefront. It's the first thing potential clients see after reading your proposal, and it either validates their interest or kills it. So here's how you build one that actually converts. So first off, we need to optimize the essentials. Your profile does not need to be perfect, but it needs to feel professional, authentic, and credible. Now, here's the things that matter most. First off, you need to craft a killer bio that shows personality and confidence. This is the part that I feel like most freelancers really mess up, is that they write really bland corporate sounding bios. You need to write like a human, show them who you are, show your personality and be confident without being cocky. And interestingly enough, all of this stuff that I'm sharing with you here is also stuff that I use whenever I'm hiring team members. Like I'll look at their bio and I'll see if it sounds super corporate sounding and if it sounds like AI or a robot wrote it. But if they show some personality in it, then that immediately makes them stand out. And also people want to work with people. So remember that, like show who you are. And some examples here, by the way, something to keep in mind, these are not entire bios. Like your bio is way longer. And like I showed before, if you get this entire like actual blueprint, I literally have the exact bio, like in this profile builder, I have the exact bio like structure that you want, including my own fill in the blank one. So that'll make it a lot easier for you. But anyway, like I was saying, these are examples of what not to do. So a bad bio is I am a video editor with experience in editing videos for social media. I am hardworking and reliable. Woohoo. Then a good example is I've edited 2,000 Instagram videos for my own brand, so I know what makes people stop scrolling because I've been in the trenches doing it myself. I eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff, and now I help content creators turn their raw footage into the kind of content that actually performs. No fluff, no guesswork, just what works. Hopefully you can see the difference there. Like the second one shows experience, confidence, and the personality. It positions you as someone who gets it, not just another freelancer trying to land some gigs. Now, the next thing, use a professional but authentic profile photo for like, seriously, use a good picture. This is one of the first, it is the first thing I look at whenever I'm hiring somebody is I look at their photo. If their photo looks horrible, if they look like they look angry or evil, then it immediately kind of turns me away. But if they have a professional looking photo, it immediately makes them stand out. You don't need some corporate expensive headshot done, but you do need a clear photo where you look approachable and confident. So no blurry selfies, group photos, sunglasses or hats covering your face, photos where you look uninterested or sloppy. Like seriously, smile, show your teeth, even if you're missing so many that it looks like your tongue's in jail, smile. A simple, well-lit photo where you're smiling literally works fine. Okay, you can take a selfie, not a big deal. And like I mentioned, when I'm hiring team members, that's the first thing I look at. And just remember, clients are judging the book by its cover, so make sure your cover looks good. Now, next thing, add case studies, examples, and even off-platform work. Now, before diving into this, I'm gonna show you, this is my exact Upwork profile here and what it looks like. Yeah, so as you can see, I've got a really good profile picture here. It was basically just a nicely set up photo, and I actually went in Canva and I removed the background and basically added this nice like office light style background. So it looks really good. It looks professional. And I edited it and added that background, which changed it completely. So use Canva and edit it slightly. And you can see just my bio and everything. The next thing is the portfolio and case studies and stuff, which I'm going to be sharing with you right now. So this one's huge. Most new freelancers, they leave their portfolio empty, which is this section right here. So you don't want to do that. And a lot of them will leave it empty because they don't have any Upwork clients yet. So I have nothing to show. But that's not correct. Like show anything that proves you can do the work. Like it can be video, like I'm just using video editing as an example, but it can be videos you've edited for your own brand. It can be projects you did for friends or past clients or even family, even if it's unpaid. Like these potential clients don't care if it's paid. They just care if you're able to do the work and get the results they're looking for. It can be before and after examples or spec work, like work you just created to demonstrate your skills. Like to be honest, as you're setting this up, whatever skill you chose in the last video or the last module, like however you can go and actually create work. If you don't have any examples or anything yet, go and actually create examples of work that shows you know what you're doing and add it to your portfolio. It does not need to be for clients. It just needs to show them that you can do the work they're looking for. They don't care if it was paid or unpaid. They just care if it's what they're looking for. And then next, reframe your lack of reviews. This one's huge. This comes back to positioning, which I've talked about in the past few videos. If you're new to Upwork, you won't have reviews, previous work, or any Upwork earnings yet. Now, just so you know what that is, basically up here, like literally it shows exactly how much money you've made on Upwork and how many jobs you've done and everything. You know what's funny is I've literally said before, I'm already making 5K a month with my freelancing. I don't get, which I'll get into this more in the coming videos, I don't get paid through Upwork. So I still look brand new on Upwork because it shows I've made $100 and I've done 3 total jobs. But in reality, I've made thousands and thousands of dollars from freelancing. I just don't get paid through Upwork. And I'll explain exactly why and how to set all that up in the coming videos. But I just want to touch on that. If you're worried about looking new, I still look new and I'm landing these clients. So it's not an issue, but you need to reframe it and position yourself correctly. So if you're new, you just need to address it proactively so it doesn't become an objection or something that turns them away. So something I really like to use, which you'll literally notice is right here. I'm new to Upwork, but not new to the game. It addresses it immediately. Because if somebody comes to my profile, they're going to see, oh, he's only done 3 jobs and made $100. He must be new. But I literally say I'm new to Upwork, the platform, but I'm not new to the game. So that shows them like, oh, okay, he knows what he's doing. He's just new to the platform Upwork. So that's a way that you can reframe it and almost use it to your advantage in a way. And then just follow it up with proof. So that's where it goes back to the case studies and everything. Show your experience outside Upwork, the number of projects you've done, the clients you've worked with before, if you have, and the results you've delivered. This will reframe your lack of reviews as experience on other platforms or elsewhere, not inexperience overall. If you're brand new to Upwork, you want to make sure the client thinks, okay, he's only new to the platform. He's not new to the skill or to doing this type of work, even if you are. And then set an entry level hourly rate strategically. This is so important. And I feel like this is something people mess up because their egos, even if they've been in the game for a while. So here's what I've learned. Your hourly rate on Upwork is just a filter. It's not what you'll actually get paid. It's what gets you in the door. So start with a rate that's low enough to get attention, but not so low that it screams cheap. To give you an idea, with my clients, I probably get paid more around $75 to $100 an hour. But my rate on Upwork is 35. And the reason is because of this. If you start with a rate that's low enough to get attention, but not so low, or you want to start with a rate that's low enough to get attention, but not so low that it screams cheap. If you set your rate too high as a beginner with no reviews, even if you're an expert, and honestly, if you're an expert, I still recommend setting it lower so it gets you in the door. If you do this, like you set it too high, then you get filtered out by clients looking for affordable talent. And if you set it too low, then you signal that you're inexperienced or you're desperate to land clients. So what I found at least is a sweet spot for beginners is $20 to $35 an hour. I honestly personally think you should keep it around there regardless of how much experience you have, because it's just going to make it a lot easier for you to get in the door. Because like I'm going to explain next, you can always and will negotiate pricing later in the conversation. So 20 to 35 an hour, depending on the skill. And for video editing, like I started around 25 an hour and I've just increased it now because I have clients. So technically, I can try to go after more higher quality ones because I'm not like desperate to land my clients now. And that was just low enough to compete with other new freelancers, but high enough that I didn't look like some random amateur. Now, like I mentioned before, you can and will always negotiate pricing later in the conversation. Once you're chatting with a client, the hourly rate becomes irrelevant. I have never, listen to this, I have never been paid hourly over the last 6 years. I have never been paid hourly because I refuse to. Clients pay me per project or in a monthly retainer, never hourly. And I'll get into this more in the next section. The hourly rate is just there to pass their initial filter. After that, it's about the value you bring and how you position yourself in the conversation. Because basically, when you submit a proposal to a potential client, there's a list of all of the freelancers that submitted to it. And one of the main things they see is your price, your hourly rate. If you set that hourly rate too high, they're not even gonna look at your bio. They're not even gonna look at your proposal. They're not even gonna watch your custom Loom video, which we'll get into that here in a bit. But they're not gonna look at any of that. They are immediately going to decide whether or not to look into you further just based off that hourly rate. So don't make it too high to where they already dismiss your proposal. And also don't make it too low where they just don't think you're worth their time and everything because they think you're such a beginner. And actually going into that, never set it below $20 an hour. This is a hard rule. Anything below 20 an hour is going to attract bottom barrel clients who will literally nickel and dime everything. They'll ask for endless revisions and they'll treat you like a commodity. They're the biggest pain to work with. So you're better off getting fewer clients who pay you what you're worth than a dozen clients looking to pay no more than $10 an hour who are just going to make your life miserable. And remember, you'll never actually get paid hourly, so don't focus on this too much. The goal is to get paid per project or monthly. Hourly work caps your income and makes you feel like you're on a treadmill. So, like, for example, with my team and everything, I never pay my team hourly because it encourages them to work slower. I want the work done fast and well, so do your clients. So if they do have pushback, like if you ever talk to a client who wants to pay you hourly, you can literally tell them this. You can be like, look, my goal is not to work for a long time so that you pay me a lot. My job is to get the work done well as quickly as possible. Would you agree that you'd like this done as fast as possible, but as good as possible? You can word that better. But when you ask that, they're going to be like, yeah, I do. Then it's like, okay, well, then it makes more sense for me to charge per project than hourly, because hourly is just going to incentivize me to take longer with the project. You could definitely word that better, but hopefully the idea makes sense and the concept makes sense. So instead, you want to charge per project. Example, $75 a video or per batch. I do this often with new clients, so like $375 for 5 videos, or a monthly retainer. This is the goal, $2,500 a month for up to like 30 videos. The hourly rate, it's just your ticket into the conversation. Once you're there, then you control the pricing structure. So hopefully all that makes sense regarding building a high converting upper profile. So let's go back and move on to the next step. Now, the next step is to master the upward proposal game. Now, this is where most freelancers fail. Now, first off, the goal is to send high quality, personalized proposals that make you stand out and convert fast. This is where most freelancers fail because they either send too few proposals and they wonder why they're not getting clients, or they send low effort copy paste proposals that just get ignored. Now, here's how to do it right. And here's exactly how I landed 4 clients within 10 days of starting this. So first off, daily routine. Upward proposals were my number one priority. When I got started, I literally had to make money as quickly as I could, or I had to fly home from Cape Town. And I wanted to stay there as long as I could. So like I had to get this to work. So every single day I would start my morning by submitting proposals. It wasn't fun. It wasn't exciting. It was the thing I dreaded doing every day. I don't enjoy it, but it was the most important thing I could do to land clients. So discipline wins every single time. Not motivation, not inspiration, discipline. So if you're really serious about landing clients, proposals need to be your top priority until you have a full roster of clients paying you monthly. Now, here's my method. I would find and save and then submit. So just to show you what I mean by this, when you're in Upwork and you go to find projects and everything, this is actually my like main search that I saved, which I explained how to like save a search and everything in the worksheet. So if you did get the actual blueprint, you have access to the Notion doc, you'll see exactly how to do this in the worksheet. But basically I would scroll through and I would read through these. And once I read through, here's the title that like grabs my attention, and I read through the actual description. Maybe I open it up just to see a little bit more about it. If it seems like it's a good fit for me, all I do is I save it and I keep scrolling and finding more. I don't submit them one by one as I'm going. This is also personal preference. I've just found this is the most efficient way of doing it, and how I enjoy doing it is I'll save them all. And then after I go through and save all of them, then I'll come up here and I'll click Save Jobs. And basically it'll take me to all of the ones I saved. And then this is where I'll go through, open them up one by one, and then actually record the Loom video and then submit the proposal. And then I'll go through after I submit it, I'll go ahead and uncheck this and move on to the next one. So I don't think that one actually was, but was quality or was the one that I want to do. But anyway, that's how I do it. So I find jobs that match my skills using the filters, which once again, I put that, or that's in the worksheet and everything. And then I save 20 to 30 jobs that looked like a good fit. And then I submit proposals one by one. I go to the saved jobs page, like I just showed you. And then I send a proposal one by one, customizing each one with a Loom video and a personalized message. More on that in the next section. So this kept me organized and just made sure I wasn't like rushing through proposals just to hit a number or something like that. Now, next, this is so important. This is probably one of the most important parts of this entire system and strategy. It's quality over quantity. I did not shotgun 100 proposals a day hoping something would stick. I targeted jobs that were a perfect fit for my skills and experience. Each proposal felt intentional, not spammy. And the reason is because first off, I had a limited budget for connects. When I was in Cape Town, I was not making any money. I had zero income. So I was literally just burning money every day on like coffee, my food, my living expenses, my Airbnb, everything. So I had a limited budget to work with. And what the connects are is Upwork's currency for submitting proposals. So if I go here, like if I open this one, you'll see on the right over here, it says required connects to submit. So basically I have to spend 17 connects in order to submit this proposal. And right now I have 77. And if I'm not mistaken, when you buy more proposals, I think it's like $45 for like 300 connects or something like that. So it's not bad. And it's well worth it, by the way. Like it's a minimal expense compared to what you'll be making back. So just trust me, like buy the connects, you're good. It's the only way to do this. But yeah. But basically with this strategy, you're not gonna be spending a lot of money on connects. Like I didn't have a massive budget, so I had a limited budget for connects, which meant I couldn't afford to just waste them on jobs that I either didn't really want or that didn't fit my skill set. So that forced me to focus on high probability jobs only, which I'll get into that here in just a bit, which are jobs where my experience, style, and positioning gave me a real edge. And the result of that came with higher response rates, better clients, and less wasted time and not wasting money on connects. Just like, shotgunning a bunch of proposals, hoping one sticks. So this is how I find my actual proposals and everything that fit with what type of work I want to do and the clients I want to work with. So you can use filters, which is super important. And basically this just lets you narrow down jobs. So you're only looking through the ones that fit your specific criteria, skills, etc. So for example, when I go here, I already had the search saved with my filter, so I can just click that. But if I search it, like for example, if I do video editor, then I will go ahead. Oh, I can't spell. If I search video editor, then this is like all video editing jobs. But on the left over here is where the filters are. So basically the ones that I do, which I have listed right here, is first off, I'll check on hourly and I'll set the minimum at $20. And this basically makes sure it only shows me proposals that they're at least willing to pay over $20 an hour. Because anything below that, it's low quality clients, bottom of the barrel. You don't want to go for those. So my personal preference is to set it at 20. I also set fixed price and I just leave all of these there, I'm pretty sure. Um, yeah, fixed price. I just select the main one and it shows me all fixed price ones. Otherwise, if you don't select this, it'll only show you the hourly ones and not the fixed price. And by the way, the difference is like hourly is when they set up the job initially, then they can choose whether they want to pay you hourly or if it's like a project. Like if they're looking for a single video for their website, which I think is what this one might be, then they'll set like a project price, like we're willing to pay $200 for this single video. And those are often good to submit for because when you do that initial project with them, that could lead to more projects or at least a testimonial at minimum. So I also like to select that. And then the last thing is locations. This one is so important because if you're submitting proposals from people who posted it from like, I don't really know about Croatia, but like the Philippines or India or something, in reality, they just don't have the budget to pay you what you're worth. So you definitely want to make sure, come down here and under locations, I always do the United States and you can just select it like that and just search them up. But I have them right here: United States, United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia. Those are the main ones that I like to do. And then the next thing, when you're looking through proposals, like you're actually looking through these, avoid vague listings. So some of these will literally, they didn't put any effort into making the listing, like the description for the job. So some of them will be like, need a video editor, and they won't have any details or anything like that. And those are going to be a waste of time and connects most of the time because they attract hundreds of proposals. So you're competing against hundreds of freelancers, and the client usually doesn't know what they want. Otherwise, they would have put more effort into writing the entire description and everything. So look for jobs that have like clear deliverables, like they know what exactly they're looking for, and usually a very detailed description. It's like this part right here. When you open it, it's like really detailed and everything. That means they know what they want and they are higher quality. Specific style preference, like for videos, they want Alex Ramosi style content. This is really good because for video editing, for example, if they mention a style of content that I don't know how to do, then I'm not going to submit it unless if I want to learn how to do that style. But if I don't, then like Iman Gaji style YouTube videos, like I don't want to learn how to edit like that because that is so time consuming and it's just, I don't really want to do it. So if they mention they want Iman Gaji style, like animated animation style editing for YouTube videos, I'm not going to submit it because it's not my skill set and it's not what I want to do. And then another thing, just pay attention to the budget. Again, this is not super important because you are going to negotiate this later anyway. This is just to get your foot in the door, but it's still good to pay attention to. So if you have a feeling like, this person seems pretty cheap, then just don't submit it. But anyway, these criteria, these clients know what they want, which means they're easier to work with and more likely to hire you fast. Now, next, very important, how many proposals to send? I sent around 20 a day. When I landed those 4 clients within 10 days, I was submitting around 20 a day, which takes me about 3 to 3.5 hours. Now, that might sound like a lot, but remember, this is your number one priority until you have clients. Once I landed those 4 clients, I stopped submitting proposals and focused on delivering great work. But until then, proposals were non-negotiable. So pro tip, just start your day with proposals. Don't push them to the afternoon when you're tired or unmotivated. Get them done first thing, then move on to other tasks. I don't know if you've heard this analogy or story or whatever, but if you had the task where you had to eat a frog during the day, like you had to eat a frog, when would you want to do it? You'd most likely want to do it first thing. Or let's say that you had to eat a frog and then you could have your steak dinner. Would you want to eat the frog before or after eating the steak dinner? If you or like most people, you would want to eat it before because then you can just get it out of the way, get it done, get that nastiness out of there, and then you can enjoy your steak dinner. You wouldn't want to have the steak and then have to eat the frog because then you'd be dreading it the whole time. You wouldn't be able to enjoy the steak as much, and most likely you'd procrastinate and everything like that. So just get it done first thing in the morning and yeah, just nail it out. All right, next, this is essential. This is what's going to have you actually stand out from the crowd, is the power of Loom. This is the single biggest hack that separated me from 99% of other freelancers. If you don't know what Loom is, you're watching it right now. This video that I'm making, where I'm sharing my screen, I've got my photo down here. This is Loom. Literally just search it up, make an account. You'll most likely have to pay for it. It's super cheap. But make an account so you can make all of these Loom videos because you're going to make one like this for every single proposal you send. And once again, if you get the actual like full 6-figure freelancer blueprint with like the Notion doc, everything linked in the description below, then in the worksheet, you actually literally will be able to watch and see my exact Loom video that I sent that landed me a $2,500 per month video editing client who I'm still working with. So you can literally watch that and see exactly what I do, what I show, what I talk about, how I talk, my script, everything. So if you want to grab that, then the blueprint is in the description below. You'll get all the scripts, templates, everything. But anyway, here's what I did. Record and attach a custom Loom for every proposal. The Loom videos, it's a short screen recording just like this. Honestly, my Looms, they're like not even a minute long sometimes, like maybe a minute and a half to 2 minutes long. And you're talking directly to the client. It's personal, confident, and it shows your energy in a way that text never can. Like what I did is I'd open the client's job posting, so like this, and then what I would do is I'd record this 60 to 90-second Loom where I introduce myself, I quickly run through their proposal, showing I understand what they're looking for. I explain why I'm a great fit by showing my own content, clients' content, all that type of stuff. And extremely important, I showed enthusiasm and energy. So, and then I attached the Loom link in my actual proposal. So for example, with the enthusiasm and energy, if you start the video and you're like this, "Hey, I came across your proposal here, wanted to send this over because I think I can help you out with this." Like, that is going to draw them away so fast. What I started every proposal with is I was like, let me see if I can remember exactly. I was like, "Hey, um, dang it, I totally forgot what I say. I've got the example in the worksheet, but it's basically like, "Hey, hope," oh yeah, I remember. I was like, "Hey, hope you're doing fantastic, and I appreciate you having a look at this quick video I made for you. Came across your proposal here and had to send this over because it looks like a perfect fit." And then I just dive into it. So you can see my enthusiasm, my energy. I sound like somebody that is excited about this, and I'm excited to work with them. And that's the type of person that stands out. So this works because freelancers are lazy. They send a generic text proposal and they hope for the best. You, out of 50 proposals that they will get, you are probably the only one who is sending them a personal video. You will stand out. When you include a Loom video, you immediately stand out. The client sees your face, hears your voice, and gets a sense of your personality. That's why it's so important to be enthusiastic and show some energy in everything. It's because it shows your personality. You're no longer just another name in their inbox. You are a real person. I guarantee you, this single strategy will 10x your response rate. Don't be lazy. If you want to get results, don't be lazy. If you were to send me a message a month after implementing this and you were like, dude, I haven't landed a single client. I've submitted proposals every single day. The first thing I would ask you is, are you sending a custom Loom video in every proposal? And I guarantee if you don't land a client for 30 days, it's because you're not doing that. So, or you're just not doing it, doing it right, which is why I think seeing the exact Loom I sent and mapping it out in the worksheet is really, really helpful because it makes sure you nail it the first go around. Now, the next thing is cover letter. Now, if you don't know what a cover letter is, basically when you click apply, your cover letter, and this is also where you include the link to your Loom video, your cover letter is right here. This is basically what you write to base it's the first thing that a client is going to read through to decide whether or not they want to message you and potentially work with you. So it's extremely, extremely important. And your cover letter doesn't need to be a masterpiece. It just needs to be human, personalized, and confident. And once again, something that I feel like so many freelancers mess up on is they make it sound robotic and corporate-like. Keep it personality filled. No robotic writing. This might go against what you've heard elsewhere, but don't write it like a corporate drone. Write like you talk. And believe me, I know this might sound uncomfortable at first because, in the workforce, in the workplace, it feels like it needs to be professional all the time and all this stuff, but I guarantee you this has been a game changer for me. So like a bad example is, dear hiring manager, I'm writing to express my interest in your video editing position. I have extensive experience in video editing and would be honored to work with you. No. A good example is kind of like I literally said, or kind of like how I did in that Loom video example, how I started all enthusiastic. I'm like, hope you're having a fantastic day. That type of thing. Basically, it's like, hey, John, saw your post and had to reach out. I've edited 2,000 videos in this exact style for my own brand. So no, I know exactly what you're looking for. Attached a quick Loom breaking down my approach. Let me know if you want to chat. By the way, that's not an entire cover letter. I've got like the exact step-by-step on how to map out the entire cover letter in the worksheet. So you can have a look at that if you go ahead and get the blueprint and everything. But this is just an example of the type of wording and stuff to use for it. Like show some personality. The second one feels more human, not like a template. And this is the part that might feel uncomfortable at first, but use slang or your normal tone. Like if you normally say dude or honestly or let's crush this, use it. Your vibe will attract the right clients and repel the wrong ones. That's a good thing. I think I have an example, maybe I don't in here, but literally the messages that my current like main client who is paying me 2,500 a month, literally like he starts his messages to me with bro. Like he'll be like, bro, hope you're having a good weekend. I just uploaded the new content into the folder. Like it's just chill, relaxed and stuff. And the reason I was able to land him as a client is because I showed my personality and my vibe matches his. So, and that's why it's so enjoyable to work with him. And then next, slightly adjust it per client type. So like I created 3 templates that I would just pull from and just paste it as the cover letter every time. So if it was like a personal brand client who's looking to build their personal brand and make content, I had a template that speaks directly to them. If it was an e-commerce client who was looking for like their videos edited for their social media or even for their ad creatives, then it was just my cover letter was slightly worded differently just to match e-commerce type people. And then a general video editing one. This one was just like for the proposals that I'd submit where I'm not like 100% sure what kinds of videos they're looking for. This one was just a little bit more generalized so that regardless of what they were looking for, it made sense. So what's important is I didn't rewrite the entire proposal every time. I used the exact same template every time, and I just obviously replaced the Loom link with the custom one I made for them. And then I changed just a few things, like based on their actual like job post right here, I'd read through it and I might mention a couple things in the cover letter that's specific to them so that they know it's not like some copy paste template or anything like that. But the important thing, don't over customize. You don't need to research the client's entire business history. Just read their job post, acknowledge what they need specifically, and explain why you're the right fit. It's that simple. Over customizing, it's just going to waste time, and often it's going to make your proposal sound pretty forced. So keep it natural, relevant, confident, and just show your personality. I think that's so important. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next step. So key takeaways here. Your upper profile, it is your storefront. Make it professional, authentic, and credible. Set an entry-level hourly rate, 20 to 35 bucks an hour. This is just to pass the initial filters, but you're always going to negotiate per project or retainer pricing later, so don't get too hung up on that. And proposals are your #1 priority until you have clients. Aim for like 20 a day, starting first thing in the morning. And quality beats quantity every time. Target high probability jobs where you have a real edge and touching on quality, Loom videos are a cheat code. Freelancers are lazy. Don't be lazy. Record a custom 60 to 90-second video for every proposal, and you will 10x your response rate. I guarantee it. And then lastly, write like a human. Use your natural tone, add personality, and don't sound like a robot. And it's the same thing for your Loom video. Add your personality, show your enthusiasm, talk like a person. If you want a little cheat code for my Loom videos, I did not have a script. I literally winged it. From the very first Loom video that I recorded, I winged it entirely because I wanted it to sound authentic and natural. If you sound super scripted and you're reading something word for word, then it doesn't come across as authentic, and it's going to be a turnoff for your clients. So I'd highly recommend making it authentic and more or less just having like a blueprint in terms of like, I'm going to show their proposal first and talk through it. Then I'm going to show them my personal brand and talk through that, like just kind of a structure, but not like word by word or word for word or anything like that. So anyway, that is how to actually book sales calls and basically start talking with clients and everything like that. Once again, if you want to grab the entire six-figure freelancer blueprint, which basically includes this entire Notion doc, all these tools and everything, as well as the worksheets, because there is a worksheet with this particular one as well. And this worksheet is super, super in-depth and granular. We've actually got multiple, one for your entire Upwork profile builder. And then we've got another for like Upwork search and filtering through or filtering presets so you can find the absolute best proposals and jobs possible to basically expedite landing high quality clients. And then we've got the Loom video stimuli. I literally have the exact Loom video that I used to land a $2,500 per month video editing client who I'm still working with. And then basically how you can map out yours as well. And then lastly, the cover letter stimuli, which is also very important, which we'll be diving into. So if you want all that, then you can grab the six-figure freelancer blueprint in the description below. Now let's go ahead and talk about what happens when clients respond to your proposals.